provide people where we're at. You can actually see snow blowing now. But that's kind of take it tour from the CES, kind of what's going on. Some of the changes. We also have Blaze. Blaze is one of our Macs. We stop lines and waiting for the transit. My favorite food at CES. Just coming back here all the time just to say hi to you guys. It's nice to meet you guys in person. I've been following the adventure for such a long time, and yeah, just get to ask all of the questions that I have. And thank you so much for involving me. Covering a lot of ground. Yeah, I actually I'm a little bit nervous about driving it for the first time. I actually haven't tried it. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to do this on camera on Facebook Live for a lot of time. No judgment. Yeah, you can't judge me. All right.
See? All right. So there's your turning.
Yep.
Right? You hold that trigger. You're going to turn the auger on.
Oh, that's a bit scary. Okay.
Yep. But actually it's good because it's warm here. So if you want to cool down, you'll get a little air in your face.
Okay.
So shoot rotation.
Okay. Yep.
Your module up and down.
Okay. A and Y. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. And then your shoot angle. Up and
Shoot
down.
angle. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
So take it away.
All right. You know, I'm trying to think of like a trade show where we can in future have like a massive pile of snow in the corner.
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
cool.
We have to find a quiet snow machine without a compressor.
There you go. You should be manufacturing all of the snow that you can then clear out.
Yep.
Oh my god, it feels so surreal to actually be controlling one after so many years of
Yeah, and
following what you guys have been up to.
If you pull the right trigger while you're moving forward, it'll bump it up to the higher speed.
Oh, right, that's like the run mode. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Cool. Oh, that was a little bit unexpected. Okay.
Is it the back going backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. It's super intuitive. Let me see if I can back it up onto the charging station here. Oh man, it feels like a tank. How much does the unit weigh again with the snowblower on it?
It's about 140 pounds.
140 pounds?
Yep. Here, why don't we go over there and we can go over some of the specifics of it.
Yeah.
So unlevel ground, we'll talk about that for a second, because that's something we changed a little bit for the better. It used to be that we were going to have the customer basically drive around your driveway, make your map, and then go back again and box out like a no-go zone. We were going to box out the unlevel areas, but now we actually are doing it autonomously with the idea that you could lower the auger. Go ahead.
So that's Y? Y is going to, Y is up? Okay,
yes,
A is down, yeah.
So this is manual, obviously. But what's going to happen is Yarbo is going to take a second run after you make your map, what we call like a dry run, without the auger on.
Yeah.
And every time the scraper bar catches, it's going to back up 1/4 of an inch, raise the auger 1/4 of an inch, and go forward, and then drop it back down. If it can't clear that area, we're going to raise it up again and do the same thing until we can get it back down to the ground, and then we're going to move forward again. So typical two-stage snowblower, you're always getting to, you're setting it to the highest point of your driveway. With Yarbo, you're always getting down to the lowest point of your driveway. So that was something we just changed in software. That was just kind of a better way to approach it, a hands-off way to approach it.
But then is it able to, as it goes through the map, is it able to sort of make memories of like those different sort of step stages and different parts?
Exactly.
So it's not exactly like it's memorizing steps, but it's sort of memorizing like some
the interaction that
some of the interaction at that point.
Correct.
Super cool.
Correct. Yeah. That way again it's a little easier on the setup side. And it's just doing it intelligently, right?
Yeah. Really smart. Can I try driving it a little bit more?
Of course, yeah. Take it for a spin.
I got to say, it's like it's almost like a dangerous amount of power. augers?
Yeah, the augers.
So drive forward. So you can't drive forward.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, right, you're in the way, yeah.
Right.
And what sensor, well, probably a suite of sensors that just did that, right?
Mainly that's the radar we have here.
Radar, yeah.
But it's a specialized radar so that it can see in the snow.
So to give you an example, actually, the interesting part is it can't see clothes, but it can see my bone, right? It can't see plastic or paper, but everything else it can see. So. Yep. Yep.
And how do I unarm that?
Yep.
This is an engineering marvel.
So, as you know, like this has been in development for 5 years, right? This is by far the most difficult machine and module that we had to make. If it wasn't for starting with the snowblower, we could never step down to like the lawnmower, which requires way lower voltage. So it was. Huh? Oh, okay. We have a question from Frankie. It says, "Can I?"
Here, I'll read it to you.
Yeah, please.
It's a question from Frankie. Yeah, go ahead. You can just point the camera that way. Does it adjust the shoot angle in autonomous mode?
Yes. Yes. When you're making yes, you can absolutely tell it. Where really, a lot of the videos that we've shown, just in fairness, a lot of people have said, "Well, can we show the angle shooting down?" And yes, Yarbo can shoot as low as I believe it's 8 feet. But we want, and really when we're doing the algorithms, we want to shoot the snow to a shorter distance than a longer distance because we want the most control over where we're throwing it, right? So like in this scenario, if we wanted to make a snow pile in this corner, and we want to make a snow pile in the opposite corner, we would highlight these two corners, this rectangle on the map, and Yarbo would make a little cut down the middle at first, and then it would throw half of the snow in that corner, specifically not just that area, but that corner, and the same thing on the opposite. So, yep. Any other questions on the snowblower? Nope. Okay. So one other thing I'll just say, let's just go over the leaf blower. Oh, sorry guys, it is noisy. We're trying to be as loud as we can. On the so the snowblower, then we have the leaf blower. The leaf blower really is close in design to the snowblower, right? It's the same algorithm that powers the snowblower, powers the leaf blower. If you think of like the chute and how we throw snow, right? It's very similar to the leaf blower to move leaves into piles, or if you know that's its most involved way, right? Its most technical way of moving things around. Its most simplistic way is that if you obviously just want to blow them all to the right, like you have a wood line around your backyard, and you want to blow them all into the woods, that's super easy, right? But we can get down to actually blowing into piles. So actually, Blaze, you want to go over to the lawnmower?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Over there. Let's head over this way. So a couple things with this. This particular machine has our concept of our guard module, excuse me, up here. So that can be attached to the main body, so that way you can actually use it. Can we lower that? Yeah. Hold on 1 second, guys. We're going to lower this TV. Hold on 1 second. Yeah.
It's another.
But yeah, like if there was the sensor camera doesn't work manually, I can override it.
1 second, guys. We're just going to turn off this TV.
So we buy the charge separate. Okay. So on here is our concept of our guard module.
So the guard module actually clips onto the main body, as you guys might have seen, and that can actually detect people. It can patrol your yard when it's not mowing, or it could be on the snow blower, right? So we decided to mount it here so that it can actually exist with any module that you have on the unit. You don't actually even need to have a module on the unit. But let's jump back to the snowblower for a second. So a lot of what you guys have probably seen in Blaze, what you probably have seen, is 2 cutting discs. So let's go over to the earlier design we have. So on the lawnmower, you guys have probably seen is a lawnmower with 2 cutting discs. All right. The 2 cutting discs work really, really well, but the problem was in really tall grass, if you wanted to take an inch off the lawn, which we're really not recommending you do, but it would sometimes leave a small uncut area here. So what we've moved to is a 3-disc design. We'll go over and show you that. So you have the controller?
Yep.
Just raise up the module. All right. And Lynn, if you could just put the camera down there.
Areas where you want it to go, where you don't want it to go.
And so now we have 3 cutting discs. Smaller, and that ensures that there is no gap left when it's cutting.
You're going to walk the match. You're going to walk.
How much time does it take to switch over from the lawnmower to the snowblower?
Yeah, good question. So in that case, you flip these toggles forward. So you flip this toggle and that toggle. This whole thing will just pull off. 3 connections, and that's it. I'll show you what that looks like with the modules. Unless, did you say there was another question? I only see discs on the new design.
2?
Oh, right, correct. So then, sorry, the 2 discs that we showed with that design, that was actually the older design, right? The new design has 3 discs. You know what? Hey, Blaze, can you raise this module up again? Okay, we're trying to get you a better angle. So 1, 2, 3. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it's super, super quiet. Super quiet. Noisy here, super quiet. Yep.
You charge it 2 hours, and then
Let's head over to the
13,000 square feet.
So, Blaze, if you want to come over here. Give that handle a pull. Good. Give this one a pull.
Oh. Kind of hard because I'm on the other side here. Let me
Yeah, no problem.
There we go.
There you go. You could do this yourself. This is in the air. That's it. There's 3 connections back here. You're going to take this cover off. And you're going to put those 3 connections in, and you're done. The snowblower. Here, let's put this back on, and then I'll put the cover back on.
Considering you only really need to do this twice a year, it's almost too easy.
Yeah, correct. I mean, because we're doing this.
Expecting like a 20-minute.
Yeah. No tools required. You don't have to worry about that. We'll slide this in because we're actually this whole module is hanging in the air. It just makes it a little bit difficult to maneuver around. So these are the locking tabs on the snowblower. On the leaf blower, you have these silver ones, right? Same idea. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Let's show. You know what? Did we show you the power station?
Yeah, that's cool as well. So so the concept of this is like you've got all this battery power, right? Yep. So when you're not using one of the 3 modules, which is like the only time of year you're not going to be using something. It's like springtime,
Right.
Or like you're going camping, power goes out. I love this concept. Yeah, I think all electric vehicles are great. So let's go on. actually, and look at that, it's perfect. You guys have got a USB-C in there as though you knew I was coming, showing up with the low charge. So I'm gonna just steal some power right now.
There you go. So, again, you just take the battery out of Yarbo, throw it in the battery case, sorry, power station case, turn it on, it'll show you how many volts, right? We actually have the AC turned on at the moment, but it'll show you how many volts we're using. And then you have 3 ACs, 600 watt continuous, 1200 watt surge. USB-A has 5 volt 2.4 and USB-C has 2 65 watt ports. And then this is a 38 amp hour battery, so it's a really, really big battery.
So that's gonna recharge your laptop like
More. I mean, again, it depends on the type of laptop, but I don't know of a laptop that we couldn't charge for multiple times.
I mean, that's gonna give you like you're gonna be able to get your office work done.
Oh yes. Yeah, correct. Actually, I sleep with a CPAP machine, and I tried other inverters. One of my problems is I need 500 watts in order to power the humidifier because of the heater element. So that can be that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take this.
Yep. Let's actually, you know what? Let's show a couple of other things. So, our base station has been changed a little bit, maybe since you guys have seen it early on in the campaign, kind of slightly. So this is the base station that you would put inside your house, right? This is kind of the brains of it. You have the antenna that comes out. There's a couple different ways to mount it, right? So you have this base plate at the bottom, and you have these 3 rods that you connect together. They're just threaded, and then the little antenna on top. So this is probably the easiest way to do it, but for really, I mean, if you're in an open area, that's fine, right? But to get the best performance, you really want to mount it to your roof. So that's super simple as well. You just put the base station inside the home, and this is the only wire that you need outside. This little wire, and then that little antenna, I don't know if they can see it up there because of the bright light, but that little antenna is basically, can you see it?
Barely easy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's tough to see. So here, come over here. So it's basically just this little piece, and then the start of this little mounting plate. That's it. So it's like this little piece that you're putting on your roof. We also make a 90-degree elbow attachment if you want to like put it out of on the side of your house, like out of the eave of your roof or something like that. A couple of other things. This is the wireless transformer. So this is going to take your AC current, convert it to DC for the wireless charger, the wireless charging pad.
Where do you recommend keeping the wireless charging pad? It's designed to be outdoors, but does it need to be under like a shelter? Does it matter if there's a little bit of snow build up on it? Or is that
yeah, good question. So it does not matter. Actually, so you can put it by your house, right? Even if it's not necessarily close to the wall, that's fine. We use GPS to get into the general area of the charging station, and then we actually use other sensors to get it on the charging pad. But to your point, if snow builds up on it, the reason why we use a flat charging pad is so that Yarbo can actually come back when it's done snow blowing for that run, and it can clear off its own charging each time it goes to charge.
Do you know, like, it's what, 12 hours to get a full charge? I mean, it's unlikely that it would be completely efficient. But if it were, you're looking at 12 hours for a full cycle?
No. So we go from about 10% to 90%. And if you were, let's say, 0 Fahrenheit or above, you're talking like about an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the big challenges to get the wireless charging speed to the same speed as being plugged in via cable. And you can do either one. So now if it's negative 30, you have to add another half an hour. Okay. If the battery is negative 30, that's all we care about. And you would really never be in that situation because by just running Yarbo, you're heating the battery.
Yeah.
You have a heater in the battery. So if for some reason your power went out for let's say a week, right? Yarbo can survive outside -30 for a week by heating its own battery. But with its charging pad, it can survive outside indefinitely at -30.
Wow, that's amazing. So in an hour and a half, it will be back up to 90%. And that's assuming you have to have a huge driveway to even get close to leaving this battery.
Correct. In a single row.
Do you actually know off the top of your head roughly what that is? I mean, you'd have to have a driveway that's like bigger than a tennis court.
Yeah, and it's relative to the amount of snow you're cleaning, right? So again, we can do so with let's see, with 10 inches of heavy wet snow, we can run for an hour. With 5 inches, you can essentially double it. The way that Yarbo works when it's connected to the internet and kind of weather aware is it goes out every 3 to 4 inches, which is enough snow for us to blow, but super easy on the machine. And then whenever you walk out of your house, you only have 3 or 4 inches on your driveway. The other important thing is, like, if this was our driveway and that was the end, we would define like a end of driveway zone, right? So the big reason that we have the 12-inch intake that can be raised up to 14 inches is for the end of the driveway, right? But typically, if you have 3 inches on the ground, take that snowfall in Buffalo, right? It was a 5-foot snowfall, and it happened over a little over 24 hours. The most snowfall they got in an hour was 6 inches. That's a lot. We start getting alerts if you get more than an inch of snow an hour. But when the plow comes, if you have 3 inches in your driveway, they might dump, 8, 6, 9 at the end of your driveway, right? So that's why we want to prioritize the end of the driveway. We run Yarbo with a slower speed there, with the auger all the way up. We clear that area, and then we do the rest of your driveway.
That's always the part that gives me a heart attack. Is trying to clear the
Yeah. Hopefully not, but I get it.
Clear the whole driveway out, and then you get to the end. This is 4 times what it's taking.
Correct. And we knew that if we couldn't handle the end of the driveway, right? It just wouldn't happen. That really, you clear your driveway, you can't out of it, right? It's not really a solid problem.
Yeah, but there's always like a bit of an incline up, right? From the snow that's like on the floor to the snow that was dumped by the plow. So I'm just wondering, like, if you start with tackling that, the machine will kind of just climb up onto it. So you have to have
but basically what happens is with the snowblower, right? And I'm very familiar with this. Being in New York, so I had an Evo 2-stage snowblower. My latest one, an Arian. One of the big things that we had to do was put that interaction in, and now we can actually push down and create downforce. So just like you would do with a 2-stage snowblower, you pull up on the handle, right, and maybe push forward depending on, use their power point up, which one's exactly. So Yarbo can do the same thing, right? But Yarbo doesn't care if it's 2 or 3 runs at it. If it feels it's getting stuck or overpowered, it's going to raise the auger up, back up, go into a higher speed, and essentially ram itself forward in the end of driveway. It'll do that as many times as it needs to get from the end of the driveway. So that's really nice.
Another question for you. What do your neighbors say to you when they see you outside?
They stare. But actually, I do my neighbor. We do the neighbor next to us. One neighbor across the street, because they're kind of elderly. They have a snowblower, but they don't get around as well.
So you're like one of the most popular guys on your street, then?
Yeah, they're we all help each other out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have in mind for when I get mine. I'll be doing the same thing. Helping the neighbors, and
Yeah, and if you do want to actually bring Yarbo, like I bring it in my sedan, but it's like a hatchback, so I have some room, but small SUV. You can pull the battery out, which is about 25 pounds and change. Pull the module off, and now Yarbo's actually manageable. 2 people is a piece of cake. 1 person can do it, but yeah.
Yeah, do you know what the weight of it is with everything unloaded? I mean, I kind of want to.
Oh,
do you mind grabbing one handle?
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, this is fully loaded.
Yeah. Oh, it's
140.
Yeah. Can I lift that? Sure.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a little heavy. So
I was going to say, you know what it is, dude? The center of gravity is down low.
Yeah.
Right? And we wanted to do that to be able to go high on hills and things like that. If we take the battery out,
that's when you minus that 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Take 40 pounds off the front. So then you're only lifting about 80 pounds. It's really between two people. It's easy. I mean, I can lift it, although I prefer not to. John is not a big guy, so it's. But again, that and like for myself, I put little ramps, almost wheelchair ramps.
Right.
Telescopic. I just pop them out and ride Yarbo into my trunk.
Right. Do you find yourself ever switching out the snowblower module and the lawnmower module more than just once a season? So you just do that twice a year, right?
Yeah.
Take the snowblower off, put the lawnmower on in the spring, and then you'll do the inverse late fall.
Yep.
And that's the only time you really need to do it, right?
Correct.
And the amount, I mean, it's brilliant. I can't wait to get rid of my snowblower and my lawnmower.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Just like saves so much space.
And really,
Single battery bank. I don't have to worry about the health of the gas engine and the snowblower and electric and my lawnmower. It's just one battery.
Yep.
And then I can make use of that battery when I'm not using either of them. I mean, it's the perfect system.
yeah. And I mean, just again, you're talking one switch, one
Yeah.
toggle, two toggles, three cables. Really, it should take you no more than 2 minutes max to switch on a monitor.
Yeah.
And really, the longest part of that is actually just screwing in the connection with your hand, with your thumb screws, just to make sure they're tight, so they don't vibrate loose when the snowblower is running. But super simple.
You ever? Oh, here we go. Are you just gonna let this guy ask all the questions?
I have many questions.
Sorry,
Maybe we
guys.
can.
You want to read some questions?
Yeah, I'll read some questions out. Sorry for everyone watching. I don't mean to just be asking all the questions. Yeah, let's go. So
It's over there.
see pictures of the top camera. Oh yeah, so you'd like to see pictures with the top camera mount will.
It's over there.
I don't quite understand this. I see pictures with a top camera mount is transmit while doing its task. So I think they're asking is it possible to get like a live camera stream from the robot while it's doing its tasks
Yes.
on the app?
If they're talking about the top camera,
Yeah.
the top camera, the guard, probably Yarbo guard. Right?
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
accessory. Yes, you can. So basically, it'll make mounting boxes around people. That will actually give you, so that can do kind of the control aspect, but also it can recognize faces. So if you're in the yard and you have a cart, say, attached to Yarbo, and you want it to follow you around while you're doing yard work, you can do that. And that's really the tip of the iceberg of what we can do with Yarbo guard. Once we can do like advanced quick recognition and save things to memory, and it has a much longer range with that camera. That opens up the door for a lot of other things, but basic functionality is the guard.
So we have another question from John W. Is the top guard required? It seems like it would limit where it can go quite a bit.
Yep, not required. Actually, it doesn't come with Yarbo standard. It's an add-on. It's something that we're working on now. So it's not absolutely not required.
Another question from Imo saying, how close can the mower mow to curbs? Like how many inches are left?
Yeah, sure. So actually, if you are mowing a curb, you can actually overlap the curb. You can ride on the curb, and you'll get right to the edge, right? If you're coming up against a wall like this, you want to leave, say, the width of my foot, right? Maybe, 4 inches or something like that, 5 inches away from the wall. But that's about it. As far as our cutting discs, they get very, very close to the edge of the case of Yarbo's mowing module. And we did that because I've had many autonomous mowing modules, and most of them put the disc in the middle. It's an 8-inch disc. It's a very small cutting width. And they did that in the beginning because they didn't have the sensors for safety. Now we have sensors for safety, so we can push those blades out. And also they're 3 little razor blades, so whatever, if it hits a rock or something, or even if you somehow find a way to get your hand under there, which would be really difficult, it's a little razor blade. It's going to tuck in the second it hits something, less resistant than grass. So.
Nice. You're that's kind of answering John's question here, which got 3 likes, which is those blades look disposable. How long would you think if assuming nothing else is hit other than like grass, how long do you think those blades last in between changes? Like standard lawnmower, right? Like could last a season.
No, depending on type of grass. So you're going to change them probably once a quarter.
Once a quarter.
Probably about $10 to change. They're standard blades, so we don't make our own proprietary blades at a proprietary size. We wanted to make sure that they were standardized and they could be replaced by the user. The only other thing I want to just mention, because that's really the only thing on the lawnmower side that's consumable, but on the snowblower side, you do have a drive belt in the snowblower, right? So actually, if we come over here, there is a drive belt back here. You should not have to replace this for years, but it's a standard drive belt size. So that should be, you know, at least 3-4 years of running, because it is encased, it's closed, it's not out in the elements. And actually, do we have other questions?
Yeah, there's a few more, yeah.
Okay.
I think I know this next one. What's the maximum grade slope rating? That's 30...
For the snowblower, it's 36%.
36%, yeah.
Although it might be a little higher when the unit's delivered.
Okay.
Okay. We actually had changed this already, so the new parts that we already have a little bit of a angle up, almost like a skid plate. Because right now, this is the longest part of Yarbo's back. And so when you go up a steep slope, this is the first thing to catch, right? So we actually want to angle this up so that the first thing to catch is maybe up here, right? So we can go up even steeper than 36, but at least 36% slope. And then on the lawnmower, it's 68%.
Let's get some more questions out. Question from Bennett Schwartz. When is the snowblower going to ship?
Sure. So for backers, we are trying to get a firm date on that, but we've worked out all of the issues. Now it's just a matter of how fast we can get the last of those revised parts in and get Yarbo out the door. So we are doing weekly updates, and we will keep you guys in the loop. Obviously, first backers get it first. We had a bunch of backers visit us, number 42 yesterday, a couple in Denver. So we will, if you're a backer, we can actually visit you. But if you were to pre-order right now, we do have a pretty big backlog, not just from our beta users and backers that get priorities, but also you know, people pre-ordering from the show. So if you were to order today, it would be fall of this year, so in time for the following winter, but realistically not before.
Question from Steve. I'll rephrase this a little bit, but it's the same thing. Does it always enter the charger in the same direction, or can you sort of charge, does it matter which way it's facing when it's on the charger?
Yeah, great question. So right now, you enter the charger one way. You can pull away from the charger, though, another way. And the reason why we wanted to do that was for tow mode, so you can actually pull onto the charger forward and then leave the charger and not have to disconnect whatever you might be towing. But great question.
Is the charging transformer also rated to be outside? Yeah, I believe we answered that question, but we can cover that again.
Yeah, 100% is. That's that black box.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that was, thank you, David, for that question. Yeah, absolutely rated for outside. Sorry for everyone who's having trouble hearing us. It's really loud here at CES. Questions about pricing and availability, I'll refer you to the website for those. Everything's kind of on there. And then you just answered a question about availability. If you were to order today, the snowblower will ship in time for the snow season 2023. In terms for Q3 2023. Yeah. Sorry, the new snow season. Yeah, next winter, essentially. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then there was a funny comment about me asking all the questions. So thank you, Danny. Hope I answered some more of your questions. Let's scroll down to the bottom here. Are you using shear pins in the auger?
So right now, Yarbo does actually have shear pins back in it, but we do have overbolt protection, which is really going to cover us in, I would say, 95% of the situations. We do have shear pins in here. So whether we keep them or not, we would probably keep them. Whether you need to actually replace them would be a really, really small chance. So they're there.
Cool. I think that answers all the questions.
All right, terrific.
I can tell you're used to answering questions.
Oh yeah.
It's been a busy day. Hey, these guys are crushing it at CES. It's insane. Every time you come up to this booth, there's just like a flurry of people around. So, yeah. Major thanks to you guys for representing and
Yeah, no, very, very happy to have you flying out and actually doing the live. That's great.
yeah, it's really fun to be connected with everybody in the community out there. Thanks for, sorry for asking all the questions, but hopefully you got your questions answered. So I'm just another fan. So.
Yep, and any other questions, let us know. We're happy to answer.
When will the portable power station be available for purchase?
I believe you can pre-order the power station now. Actually, you know what? We will make a Facebook post because we did hear some people are interested in just purchasing the battery and the portable power station by itself. So if there's interest there, that could move up the availability because we have plenty of supply of batteries and power stations. So maybe we'll post that in the Facebook group. You guys can give us your ideas on the interest level there, and we can go from there. If you guys are interested enough, we can get that out, get it shipping. It's already finalized, and we have the product. So, yeah. Any other questions? Let us know. We'll be happy to answer them.
Another quick question from Frankie is: can we order swag?
Swag? Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Yeah, we'll have T-shirts. We're actually giving some away at the show, but absolutely, we'll get some of that on the website. So you can order merch.
The question.
All right, I can help you here. Is that another question? Question from Rudy. This is a great question. Yeah, Rudy is a fellow European like me. He says, when can we expect it to become available for delivery in Europe?
In Europe, so the snowblower 2024 order. 2023, fall of 2023 order now. But that's given that I actually can't speak to how many pre-orders there's been since CES, but when we got here, it was fall 2024. Snowblower, we've had a ton of interest in the lawnmower and the leaf blower and mower clients, so that would be Q1 of 2024.
Couple questions about warranty. That's a bit of a tricky one, but that's Julia, I think, who asked that question a couple times. Sorry, Julia, for missing that one. Yeah, it was just like general questions about the warranty. Can you give us any details about that?
Yeah, sure. So Yarbo comes with a 2-year warranty. So basically, everything's covered on that front. Aggressively, that's one of the things that happened at this show. We've been doing for the last year and a half is building out a dealer network. But if you have a problem with Yarbo, we're going to handle it in a couple different ways because we don't want to sugarcoat things, right? It's a new product, new dealership base, and that dealer network has to be built out over time. So if you have a problem with Yarbo, you can get in contact with us. We'll remotely diagnose it. If we can fix it on hand, great. If it's something like you snapped off one of these antennas, right? We'll ship you a new antenna because it literally just screws on and off, right? It's a simple fix. If it's a simple fix, we can shoot you the part if it's something superficial. If you want, just to get you up and running quickly. And then if it's something more involved, let's say something goes on the module, right? You can ship us back the module. We don't need the module back to ship you a new one. So basically, you send us your tracking number so we can see that it actually got to, whatever the carrier is, actually has it in their hands, and then we will ship you the replacement. Because we know that, especially for the snow, but obviously the other modules, that downtime is something that we don't want to have. It's inevitable that it might be a few days, but we don't want to have problems. I'm an early adopter of technology, so I know what it's like to have something break and then take weeks to get a replacement or get it looked at or something like that. So we're doing everything in our power to make sure that does not happen. And then eventually, as the dealer network is built out and you have a local service provider that you can either just bring the unit to or they can come out to you and fix it in a day or two or something like that, that will be great, but we want to be realistic. So the quickest way to get you up and running again is send you a new piece or send you something small part, superficial, we'll send you that.
Yeah. Question from Prem. Do you have any repair shops in the US yet?
In the USA, yeah. So we actually, full disclosure, we approached just about every Husqvarna automower dealer that was currently selling automowers because they are the number one, right, manufacturer of autonomous lawnmowers. and thinking that, you know, they would be interested in the snowblower originally under Snowbot's name, now Yarbo. So we are aggressively building out that network, and it's not by a lack of interest. We have overwhelming interest. It's now getting through the dealers and getting the agreement signed, which we have been doing for the last couple of months, and we're continuing to do. So yes, we do have distributors and service centers. Most distributors or dealers that are selling are also repairing. So.
Yeah. Question from John. Are you still looking for distributors of the units, specifically in the Midwest?
Yes, we are. Yeah, so let me say this. We have plenty of interest in dealers, but we're always looking for more because we will not bring on anyone that applies to be a dealer. To give you an example, the reason we approached people that were already selling, or companies that were already selling autonomous lawnmower brands, is we wanted someone that was, or a company that was familiar with autonomous lawnmowers and not working on gas, carbureted machines. If they have knowledge of autonomous lawnmowers also, and they're used to that, that's great. But this is really part machine and part computer, right? But if you're interested in becoming a dealer, you can jump on yarbo.com and you can submit an application there, and we will absolutely, you know, look it over and be in contact. We're trying to get as many qualified dealers, you know, up and running as possible in the shortest period of time.
No more question now, so maybe we can show you around that booth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Just around.
Let's show them super dot concept. No problem, sorry. So this is the concept for SuperDock, which you've probably seen in the concept video. So we actually have a semi-functioning early version of this at our headquarters. We couldn't get it here in time. We do not know whether Yarbo 1 is going to support it or Yarbo, you know, years from now. But obviously the main overall vision with Yarbo is many more modules to fill this cabinet and then some, and then to be able to automatically swap the modules in and out. It's nothing anyone buying a Yarbo now has to worry about because it's still years away. But just as our overall vision is that, you know, Yarbo is going to be your yard robot to cover all your yard needs, but without any human intervention, or the least possible, right? So right now you have to change the module out yourself. In the future, we want to be able to, let's say you want to renovate your lawn, send Yarbo out, have it say power rake, rip up your lawn, or maybe put down, a grass killer, and then come back, swap out the module, power rake that, bring out the vacuum, vacuum up all the dead grass, bring out a cultivator, put that down, tear up the soil, bring out a seeder, right? And then either water the lawn with your irrigation system or have Yarbo water your lawn. But really a complete solution that can basically maintain itself. Alrighty, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll do our best to answer. Thank you.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's a good one to end on. I love it. I'll be around. It's my pleasure. Yeah. It's really good. I'll be here. I'm here till tomorrow afternoon.
So yeah, let's talk tomorrow if you have time.
I'm gonna come sit on the couches later when I've been on my feet for like 10 hours.
No problem.
So in the end, you get a detailed descriptive, really about into something, how to market, how to sell. And all based on data. And
I actually want to market about it now. So yeah, we can do that. See what happens.
personally, I think I have become
我就在那 check in，他就给进来是吧？
对啊
开车进。
Marketing side, never needed to know how to, right? job was to get these factory manufacturers. So we knew how to maybe identify the persona of the customer, but that's where it stopped. So this is great because this is all.
Most of our clients see some lovely. This is not all these days.
What time? Like you just said, do you have your card?
I'm sorry. I'm at the lab.
Just
Yeah, I know. Maybe we can end this by, maybe we can end this.
Yes, just
Yeah, just end up.